Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome. So, I am here today with I don't know. I always have such a hard time to like label what I'm actually doing here. I guess it's kind of a collective update message, something like that. Um, and what I want to talk about is how I've been picking up on certain energies in the collective that I am here to connect with. My YouTube channel is still pretty new, just a few weeks old, and I am stepping into this. For me, like it's a very new role that I'm stepping into. Not because the skills that I'm using here are new to me, but the interesting thing is that I can tell like I am being called into using those skills in a different way than before, or like my intention is there's like a refocus happening. And this is partly why I'm having a kind of a hard time to really say what I'm doing here on this channel. I'm still in the process of figuring that out. I'm still in the process of being guided, being led into my new journey that I'm embarking on here. And I'm quite honest, like this is not only a new chapter. This is like a completely new book. And it's a book that's actually like it's writing itself while I'm living it. And I can tell that there is and I'm quite honest, it feels like it's a rather small part of the collective, but there is a small part of the collective that is at pretty much the same they're pretty much in the same place. Like you can tell that this complete old story, like this old story it's complete. It's over. You don't want to be in there anymore. You don't want to live it anymore. But at the same time, the new story hasn't completely emerged. And so right now you are in this in-between space, in this transitioning phase. I like to call those liminal spaces. And I've been picking up on some struggles and challenges around that over the last few days, about a week. And I'm completely like honest. I've been struggling with it myself. And I want to share something about that in this context because I feel like, and this is part of this new story that I want to write. I want to write a story that is not, I don't want to say it's not rooted, because it is rooted in older traditions or how we used to do things. Of course, there are things that I like to take with me, and I like to there's great value in what is or what has been here before us, like structures, ideas, like how we used to do things. But at the same time, I can tell that I myself, and like I said, a part of the collective, we've outgrown those old structures, those old systems. And we've been talking about this on this channel before. There is this huge shift happening. The leaving behind of old stories, the leaving behind of complete systems, entire systems. And those are systems that were there for a very good reason. But if you resonate with what I'm saying here, your soul has outgrown those old structures. Like, you don't need those anymore. And it's like, it's not just that you don't need them anymore. It's like they are actually holding you back. They are putting, it almost feels like holding you hostage. But it's like, okay, I'm going to get there just in a second, but it feels like you need to break out of those old structures and systems. And like I said, like we talked about that. But this is, of course, like, this is not a one-time thing. This is not like you decide to do that one day and then you're just done. This is not how this works. And that is actually what I've been experiencing over the last week. That I could tell, I don't 100% know where this channel, this whole YouTube journey is going to take me. I don't know what my role is. Like, I do have a feeling for it, and I do have an inner compass that I'm following, or at least I try to, and I will get to that in a second. And I do have, I always like to call it, it's my my true north, or my North Star, which is why this channel is called Light of Polaris. Like, this is my guiding star, and I like to use that as my, like I said, my reference point. And I need to calibrate my inner compass to this reference point, or I will sorry, now I'm blanking. I'm looking for the English expression for it. I'm steering off course. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. If I don't do that, I'm steering off course. And this is what happened to me last week. Because I'm in uncharted territory right now. I don't have the whole picture, what I'm growing into. And I feel like my higher self, my guides, like whatever we want to call that, there is some kind of plan, but I'm being guided towards what my North Star is, but I'm not 100%. I don't have the whole picture yet. And I'm not entirely sure if I ever will this lifetime. I don't know. I don't know. Never say never, but I don't know. Um, but our ego mind, it likes to pretend that it knows what's going on and what we're doing, and it likes to know what the plan is. And I have this side of myself where I like to, when I think I know something, or I think like when I think like, okay, that's the way, then sometimes I just like to take things and run with them. And I have to be really, really, really disciplined about stopping, listening, and checking in. Is this really the right course that you are on right now? And it was just 12:12 on the timer when I said that. So yeah, what I wanted to share is that I can tell that there is like this collective that is what you could say leveling up. Like we want to start this new book for our soul. And in order to do that, we need to break out of the old stories. We need to break out of old systems. And like I said, this is not easy to do. This is not a one and done thing. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of intention, clarity, willingness to push through, and a whole lot of consciousness, in a sense of being so awake with what's happening. Really looking at the things that are happening inside of us, around us, in our life, being, I just feel like being so awake in a sense of being observant and on the lookout, but not in a way of waiting for something bad to happen, or to like waiting for the other shoe to drop or something like that, but more in a way of, okay, I know that this is a challenging time right now, and this is like a huge effort for myself, but also for the collective I am in. And so there will be pushback, there will be challenges, there will be things happening that try to derail me. And so the experience that I had over the last week was because I am not 100% sure what my new role is. I know what my old role was, and I'm so used to being in that role. Although I have grown out of it, and although I know I don't want to be that anymore, there's still this part inside of me that just knows how to do it, and it sometimes runs on autopilot. And it just, like I said, it takes a thing and it runs with it. And I'm so used to doing that I don't even question it. At least not until like a few kilometers down the road. And yeah, so because I'm still trying to figure out what my new role is, that's not I'm not completely settled in that yet. And maybe it's still to be defined. I don't know. Maybe it's something we are co-creating as a collective together. All of our new roles. Maybe, because it's still like, it's work in progress. We are ascending together. We are starting this new chapter together as a soul collective. And we are co-creating this new space that we want to connect inside and to I'm sorry, sometimes it's really hard. I see those pictures in my mind and it's hard to translate it into language. Like I see this whole network of souls working together on something. I'm not entirely sure what this something is. I do have, I sometimes get glimpses, and I do have a feeling about it, but nothing I could share or nothing that I could really put it into words. And it's partly because it's not here yet. We are still in the process of creating this new thing, whatever it is. And I feel like that the roles that we will take on in this new space that we are creating, or this new network, our roles are still to be defined, also depending on who's part of the network, who is coming with us. And I do feel like that there are certain roles that we are what is it called? A disposition? Like, we have certain skills, we have certain talents and things that just that we really like doing, that we're good at, that light us up. And so we have this unique skill set. And so this is what we are coming in to this new network with. And so there is a good chance of that we are taking on a certain role in there. But actually, this is something that we can decide for ourselves. And this is part of this network that the people who, or the souls that are being part of this network, you know that you are a conscious creator. You know that you are the one who is choosing your own reality. You are choosing who you want to be and what, you know what you're here for. You know what your mission is. I don't know why, but this word keeps coming up when I'm talking about this. It's nothing I would really use for myself, but somehow it just keeps coming up. All right. I'm sorry. Now I heard sometimes spirit is really funny. Now I heard a James Bond theme playing in the background. So there's a guide collective that's we like to call it a mission because it is this secret agent mission, and it's kind of like an inside joke between, I don't know if someone and their guides, or maybe this guide collective. I have no idea. But all right, okay. That's what they're saying. Okay, this took me out a bit. Can we please go back on track? All right, so everybody has their skill set, and you have like this feeling of, okay, that's my mission. That's my, like, you know what your soul, like your North Star is. But at the same time, you are the conscious creator of your own reality and of your own story. And so you are the one to choose how you want to bring this into reality, how you shape this journey of yours. And there is like this feeling of, this is like, I feel like this is going to be so creative. This is going to be like so unique and beautiful and really creative, and that there will be like, we will be bringing together all kinds of different skills and just doing new stuff with it. And this is also a huge reason why I'm not really able to pinpoint what all of this is going to look like, or what, like, even what I'm going to do, because I'm still in this creation process, and nothing is set in stone. And this is so, it feels so new, because this soul collective, like, we left behind like a huge soul story. Such a huge cycle. So we are used to the energies that we were in. We were used to playing the same story over and over and over again, maybe from like over lifetimes, from different angles. Like, we took on different roles, but it was always the same story. It's like a play, and you just, like, every time this play is shown on a stage, like, you play a different part each time. But you know the play, even though it's a different angle, a different character, a different part of the story, but it's the same play. And now you are in a completely new play, and it feels like I said, like, it's a play, or it's a book that's being, like, it's writing itself while like, we're living it. And what I've been picking up on, and what I've been living through, and it's kind of interesting that I'm like almost 25 minutes into the message, and that was actually the biggest part why I came on today, because I wanted to talk about this, and I feel like am I not supposed to talk about this? Yes, I am, but it's more like a side note. Okay, yeah, and this is part of, yeah, this is actually like even the essence of what I was about to say. because I could tell that, like I said, I was running on, like, we are going back into autopilot, into those old roles, so the roles that we are so used to playing. Like, we know those characters by heart. And so it's not even I wanted to say it's a lazy thing, but it's not that, because this sounds like as if I was judging it. It's more like I said, like, we are just like so used to playing that role that it's just second nature. And so we have to be so conscious about what role am I taking on right now in this moment, and is this really who I want to be? Is this really the new me that I want to be, that I want to embody? And I've been in the role of the bridge builder. Like, I was the bridge for the longest time. And I could feel this shift in the collective. And I kind of wanted to assist in this shift. And I immersed myself into the energy. And I almost lost my center. I almost got lost in it, because it was sometimes like, it was pretty intense. And I was picking up on so many different streams of energies that I started to bring through messages, channeled messages that were like, had the intention to help. And while there's nothing wrong with doing that, or nothing wrong with the content I created, this is not the role I'm supposed to play any longer. I used to, but this is not who I am anymore. And I could feel how the system, I'm calling it a system, it tried to get a hold of me, and it tried to suck me back in. And this sounds like as if there was like any evil intention, and I'm not somebody who is operating in those kinds of terms. This is just a natural way of how systems operate. Systems view anything that is disruptive as a problem, because it becomes an issue for like the existence of this very system. It can be dangerous to the system itself. So if you try to leave, if you try to change something about the system, or like I said, like to leave it behind, this is felt as a disruptive energy by the system itself. And so it either tries to bring you back into this, like how it operates, into the energy, the mindset, or that's interesting, because I see like it's kind of like when it feels like, okay, I cannot keep you, I cannot have you in my in the way I'm operating, the system. So I have to push you out. I see like this, like you are being ejected. And one could say, okay, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to leave. So isn't that a good thing? But this, like, pushing out, I could tell that there was so much resistance, and it partly felt dangerous to my own nervous system, because we are human beings, we are social beings. And so there were like a lot of fears emerging, that were still stored inside my own system, that mirrored back to me like this process of being ejected. And I think I felt especially people who were energies, like people inside the system who are also in the process of growing out of it, but they are not ready yet. And so there's like this fight. There's a fight of polarities going on inside the system. And there's a huge part of the collective, like inside this system, that is clinging on to old narratives, and they are not ready to let go yet. And that's fine. But everything or everyone who is challenging the beliefs that they are holding on to is seen as a threat. And so I could tell like there was a lot of pushback, there was a lot of resistance, and there was a lot of like even aggression. And I could tell I got sucked back into my old role of like this bridge builder. And I started to channel and record content where I was trying to call in those people who were in resistance, and to show them where their resistance is, and to show them the truth or my truth or whatever, like what I feel is true. And it took me a few days before I realized that I was doing that. So I recorded a few messages that I have not posted yet, and I think I probably won't. Pretty sure I won't. Because, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the content or with the messages or with even with the intention behind it. It's just not me anymore. It's just not who I am anymore. And the reason why I'm sharing that is because I feel like that the collective I am supposed to connect with, you know the struggle, you know what I'm talking about, and you will experience the same, or you are experiencing it right now. And it's just like it's a reminder of being, like I said, like really observant, like watch yourself, what you're doing. Where am I on autopilot? And be so intentional with every new step you're doing, especially in this, not even beginning phase, but in this in-between space where you are not completely out of the old, not completely inside the new. And Okay, so they're suggesting that I talking about fragmentation, because this is part of what I was experiencing with this being held back, or like trying, like this old system trying to hold me back. And I've been talking like in a very abstract way about this. So I'm not sure if like how clear it is what I mean, or what yeah, if you completely understood what I was talking about. So um when it comes to YouTube content, especially like this field of expertise that I am in, can you call that a field of expertise? I don't know. Like this whole spirituality bubble and being a reader, medium, channel, whatever you want to call it, there are certain things that work and that people are drawn to, and that the YouTube algorithm likes and pushes in your favor. And this kind of content can be quite fragmenting. What I mean by that is that it plays into this idea of polarities. It plays into the idea of like we are separate, and so I'm going and I'm looking for guidance outside of me, and there's nothing wrong for like looking for guidance, and that's not the point. It's more about giving my inner authority away and immersing, I think, myself in content that is keeping me stuck in certain beliefs about like there is this me against the rest of the world, or there are people out there, like there's always some kind of force that is out there to get me. And there is this content about longing and lack mindset, and like it's keeping people in this repetitive cycle of needing, wanting, longing. And the YouTube algorithm rewards that because it makes people click onto videos. It keeps them in the loop, and it is good for this constant growth, and but like growth in the sense of like you need to consume more and more and more content because this is how this content is designed. And I was never in danger to create this kind of content, but like I said, I was tempted to try to build a bridge and to invite people to get out of this kind of content and follow me into a different kind of content. And while there's nothing wrong with that, it's not what I'm supposed to do, because it would keep me in this interim space. But what I actually want to do is I just want to create content that is different and that attracts people who are not operating out of their lack, like an inner place of lack, but of abundance. And I've been in this bridging space for so long that it's really hard to settle into like this new space of abundance and empowerment, and like I said, conscious creatorship. And it's, for me as a content creator that I am, it is accepting that I will most likely attract a very, very small group of people, and that is fine. But this is not what the biggest part of the spiritual community wants, because let's be honest, the biggest part is in this whole cycle that I've just been talking about. And it's also not what the platform itself wants me to do. So there have been pretty strong forces pulling on me. And it was a challenge to recognize it and to get myself out of it. Although the getting myself out of it wasn't even that hard after I recognized it. Actually, like the recognizing part was the hard thing. And so this is why I'm sharing this. And I really hope that I make sense. I'm not sure. It happens to me quite often that I feel like while I'm talking, I'm like, this is not making any sense. I'm sure nobody will be able to follow what I'm saying. And when I edit my videos and watch it afterwards, I'm like, well, actually, it wasn't that bad. So I hope it made sense. And yeah, so okay, they are saying back to the fragmentation. Oh, okay. This is quite elegant, actually. Oh, Spirit is just, they are so genius. It's just, I couldn't make it up. It's so beautiful. All right. So what I've just been talking about, living in this polarized reality, about thinking in terms of evil and good, like this, I am something separate from the rest of the world, and this is why I'm watching tarot readings. This is just an example. This is just because I'm like in this space, so it's pretty loud for me. This is actually like we are fragmenting ourselves by operating in this sort of worldview. And what I've been talking about at the beginning of, like in the first part of this message, like I said, that I see this collective coming together with like all those different skills, and we are starting to create something new. And I'm telling you, like my whole body is vibrating while I'm talking about that. This is so intense. This is so potent, and it's so beautiful. It's so fucking beautiful. We are bringing together, like we have collected all the fragments that we scattered in this world, like in this universe, and like this, like our soul got scattered like all over the place. And we have been working on bringing in those different soul pieces and all those soul retrievals you did, and like all those different parts of yourself that you have brought home. And you came into what we like to call inner union. And it's not just the union of the polarity of like the masculine and the feminine, but it's, like I said, all those different fragments, all those different parts of ourselves that make up the whole. And we are this multi-dimensional, beautiful, I hear rainbow, rainbow being. Rainbow because like they're like all the different colors together. They are forming a whole, but you can still see like the different colors. So we are this, we've come into union, we've come into like being whole again. And this is where we can start to create something even bigger by coming together as a collective and building out of those it's like you can call it what you like oversoul or collective is gathering its fragments now. And you are one fragment, and I am one fragment, and so many other people. And we are coming together also to create this beautiful. It's like it's soul retrieval on the next level, really. That's exactly it. I heard that's exactly it. This is crazy, but it's also it's incredible beautiful, I think. And the difference is, okay, they want me to stress that. The difference is that now we are not operating out of a lack, but we are operating out of abundance. And so it is kind of a different story. It is like we are operating out of abundance. And so it's, like I said, it's about conscious creatorship. It's about creating something new, not trying to heal out of the old stories, because we did that. This is where we came from. Now is the time to step into your North Node, to take with you like what you've grown out of. Like it's part of you, and it will always be. But it's the fertile ground where something new can grow, and like if you're familiar with astrology, and I guess you probably are if you're watching this, yeah, it's like the South Node and the North Node. It's not about leaving the South Node behind, but it's about growing into your North Node and know where your roots are in your South Node. And this is where your part of your wisdom comes from. And yeah, I'm so excited to see where this is going. I am. And I would love to hear from you. If you have anything to share about what I've said, I would love to hear from you. And yeah, I would also love it if you supported the channel. Maybe give me a thumbs up or even a subscription. Like I said, this is going to be a challenge. Like the algorithm, like to work with the algorithm here. I'm still figuring it out, and how to work in the system without being part of the system, without playing by the rules of the system. This is yeah, this is something we've been doing all our lives, haven't we? I know for me, I have. All right, my beautiful souls. That's it for today. It's another pretty long message, but there is a lot going on. And yeah, like I said, I'm really, really excited to see where this is going. And I'm incredibly grateful to be here with all of you, to be in this co-creative space, and I'm incredibly grateful for you. And yeah, I would love to see you in the next video, and until then, I wish you all the best and take care. Bye.